Pay attention when someone is trying to bother you, trying to get a reaction out of you, or trying to pull you out of your character. That is not a test of your anger, that is a test of your discipline. Anyone can snap, anyone can shout, anyone can get dragged into a fight they did not choose, but staying calm, staying centered, keeping your power, that is different, that is rare, that is strength, and the people who win in the long run are not the ones who react the fastest. They are the ones who respond wisely. So today I want to break something down for you. 5 principles, 5 mindsets, 5 ways to hold your peace, even when someone is pushing every button you have. Let's get into it. When you start to really understand human behavior, you begin to see that a lot of the energy people throw at you has nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with who they are. People project, people transfer, people unload, and when someone goes out of their way to provoke you, to poke you, to disturb your peace, you have to recognize that it is coming from a place of insecurity, not superiority. It is coming from a place of fear, not strength. No one invests energy into shaking the ground of someone they do not secretly see as solid. No one wastes time trying to unbalance someone they do not see as steady. So when you feel someone trying to push your buttons, understand this is a reaction to your presence, to your discipline, to your growth. They feel something about you that they cannot explain, and instead of elevating themselves, they try to pull you down to where they feel comfortable. People only provoke what they feel threatened by. That is the truth most do not say out loud, but it is the truth that will save you from a whole lot of unnecessary battles. Have you ever noticed how people who have not done the work on themselves are the quickest to judge, criticize, or start trouble? Your peace becomes an annoyance because it exposes the chaos inside them. Your calmness is a spotlight on their confusion. Your stability reminds them of everything they have not handled within themselves, and instead of dealing with their own mess, they aim at you because that is easier. You become the outlet for emotions they do not want to face. A calm person is a mirror. When you do not break, when you do not respond, when you do not give them the reaction they want, they are forced to sit with what they feel. And some people cannot stand their own reflection. They cannot stand the fact that you are not moved by the same things that control them. So they push, they test you. They try to stir you up just to see if they can pull you out of character. They want to prove that you are just like them, even if you have already grown past that. Think about the people who have tested you recently, the coworker dropping little slick comments to get you off your game, the family member who always brings up something embarrassing just to get a laugh at your expense, the stranger online who does not know you but has the boldness to speak recklessly behind a screen. None of this is accidental. None of this is random. People do not poke without a purpose. It might not be a purpose they admit to, but it is a purpose that exists, because provoking someone is an attempt at control. The moment you react, the moment you break your own peace to meet them in the chaos, they feel like they won. They feel like they got inside your head, like they moved you emotionally, like they pulled you into a space you did not choose. And the wild part is most of these people do not even understand why they are doing it. Their behavior is coming from ego, insecurity, resentment, jealousy, or internal battles they have not named yet. But regardless of where it comes from, your power lies in recognizing that it is not about you. The moment you feel that heat rising in your chest, that moment where your voice wants to get louder, where your hands tighten, where that old version of you wants to step forward, stop, breathe, remind yourself, this is not about me, this is about them. Those words act like armor. They create distance between the situation and your spirit. They let the emotions pass through instead of getting stuck in you. I have seen people lose opportunities, relationships, jobs, and respect just because they could not control their reactions. They let someone else's low vibe pull them out of character. They let someone else dictate their moves, and the worst part afterwards, they always regret it. They always say, I should not have let them get to me. Because deep down they know that giving someone your reaction is the same as giving someone your power. When you allow someone to provoke you, You are letting them steer your emotions. You are letting them rent space in your mind. You are letting them shape your behavior. That is too expensive of a price to pay for someone who does not deserve even a tiny bit of your energy. Your peace is worth more than their attention. Your growth is worth more than their approval. And your future is worth more than any moment of anger that could cost you something meaningful. When you really adopt that mindset, reacting starts to feel like losing, and staying calm starts to feel like winning, because it is. The real victory is protecting your emotional space. The real strength is not allowing someone else's chaos to rewrite your character. And look, staying calm does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are letting someone disrespect you. It means you are choosing what is worth your energy and what is not. It means you are moving with purpose instead of impulse. It means you are letting your higher self lead instead of your ego. There is a difference between defending yourself and engaging in nonsense. There is a difference between standing up for your value and getting dragged into an emotional tug of war. Knowing the difference is maturity. Choosing the difference is wisdom. So next time someone tries to get under your skin, recognize the game. See it for what it is, a test, a trap, a cry for attention from someone who has not figured out how to create their own peace. And instead of reacting, stay anchored, stay grounded, stay focused. Your calm is not just a response. It is a statement that you are not easily moved, a statement that you know who you are, a statement that your emotions belong to you and nobody else. Because the truth is, the moment you stop giving people the reaction they want, they lose the power they thought they had, and you gain the power you always needed. Your energy is the one thing people do not see, but everybody feels. It is the silent force behind your decisions, your discipline, your focus, your growth. And the crazy part is most people treat their energy like it is limitless, like they can give it to anyone and anything without consequences. But once you start really paying attention to your life, you will notice something. Every breakthrough you ever had came from being in the right energy, and every setback you ever faced came from letting the wrong things drain you. That is why your energy is more valuable than time or money. You can lose money and make it back. You can waste time and learn from it. But once your energy gets drained, everything else collapses with it. Your focus, your patience, your clarity, your ability to think straight. How you feel determines how you move, and how you move determines your future. Imagine your energy like a bank account. Every emotion you give away, every argument you entertain, every reaction you allow is a withdrawal. And some people walk through a life overdrafting your spirit without ever depositing anything back. Every time someone pulls you into nonsense and you respond emotionally, you are spending peace, spending clarity, spending time you could have invested in yourself. But every time you choose to stay calm, every time you walk away from something that does not serve you, every time you refuse to match someone's negativity, you are investing. You are growing interest on your peace. You are saving strength for the battles that actually matter, and the more intentional you get with your emotional spending, the richer your life becomes. There is a reason the people you admire, the ones who seem grounded, unbothered, focused, walk with a certain type of composure. It is not that life does not hit them. It is not that people do not try them. It is that they built emotional discipline. They do not allow everyone access to the inner world. They understand that emotional control is economic control. You cannot build a meaningful life if you are letting everybody withdraw from you, whether it is drama from co-workers, chaos from family, arguments that go nowhere, people who call you only when they need something. They are all withdrawals. And you cannot keep giving without replacing. You cannot keep pouring without refilling. Eventually, you burn out. Think about the times you have had a heated argument in the morning, and it messed up your entire day. You were not focused at work. You could not think straight. Your energy was low. Your decisions were rushed. That is not coincidence. That is biology. A study from the University of Michigan showed that stress does not just ruin your mood, it literally affects your decision-making and problem-solving for hours afterward. One moment of anger can have a ripple effect that throws off your whole day. That is why protecting your energy is not just spiritual, it is practical, it is mental health, it is emotional survival, it is keeping your life aligned. A lot of people underestimate how easily their energy can be influenced. You might think you are just arguing for 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes can echo for hours. You might think you are just checking one toxic message, but that message can shift your whole mood. You might think you are just entertaining a negative conversation, but that conversation can change how you treat the people who did not even do anything to you. That is how expensive your energy is. It shifts everything around you. You ever notice how when you are in a good mood, everything feels easier? You think clearer, you move smarter, you make better choices. But when you are drained, irritated, or stressed, even simple tasks feel heavy. That is why people say protect your peace, but rarely explain the mechanics behind it. Protecting your energy is not about being soft or weak. It is about being strategic. It is about recognizing that every part of your life is connected to your internal state. Your goals, your relationships, your decisions, your habits, they all feed off your energy. And if that energy is low, everything else runs on low power too. You have to start treating your energy like it is gold, because it truly is. You have to guard it, ration it, and invest it wisely. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves a response. Not everyone deserves a reaction. Some people need to be blocked. Some conversations need to be avoided. Some situations are beneath the level you are trying to grow into, and that is not arrogance, that is awareness. There will always be people who try to drain you, not because they are evil, but because they have not learned how to source their own energy. They feed off reactions, conflict, chaos, attention. But you are not responsible for powering anyone's dysfunction. You are responsible for protecting your own balance. You are responsible for building a life that feels stable from the inside out. And that requires discipline, that requires choosing your battles carefully, that requires saying no when your spirit cannot afford another withdrawal. As you grow, you will start to recognize the difference between things that add to you and things that drain you. Pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Pay attention to what conversations leave you mentally tired. Pay attention to what situations keep pulling you out of character. Your energy does not lie. When something is draining you, you feel it. When something is healing you, you feel that too. And once you start really honoring that, your whole life shifts. Energy is the foundation of everything you are trying to build. You can have talent, you can have ambition, you can have big dreams, but if your energy is depleted, you cannot sustain any of it. You will move slower, you will think smaller, you will quit sooner. That is why the most important part of success is learning how to protect your emotional state. Walking away from negativity is not weakness, it is wisdom. Choosing peace is not avoidance, it is strategy. And staying calm even when life throws noise at you is how you keep control over your future. So guard your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Protect it from unnecessary battles. Protect it from people who drain more than they give. Protect it from situations that cause too much and offer too little. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you are investing in a more powerful version of yourself. Every time you protect your energy, you are building a stronger future. And every time you stay calm, you are reminding the world and yourself that you are moving with purpose, not impulse. Your energy shapes your destiny. Make sure you are spending it wisely. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of power. Most people think strength is loud. They think it is in the clapback, the comeback, the argument, the moment where you prove your point with more volume than the next person. But the truth is, real strength does not always announce itself. Sometimes it moves quietly, sometimes it speaks by not speaking at all, and a lot of people do not like to admit this because ego hates silence. Ego wants to jump into every battle, respond to every insult, defend every rumor, and correct every lie. Ego wants the last word, but wisdom does not. Wisdom knows that not everything deserves your attention, your breath, or your emotional investment. Your silence hurts more than your reaction ever could. That is a lesson life teaches you the hard way. When you are younger, you think you have to explain yourself to everyone. You think every misunderstanding needs clarification. Every disrespect needs confrontation. And every time someone tries you, you have to show them how unafraid you are. But the older you get, the more you realize that reacting to everything is how you drain yourself. You end up fighting battles that do not grow you, arguing with people who do not matter, and explaining your worth to people who are never going to understand it. Silence teaches you that peace is more valuable than proving a point. Not answering is not weakness, it is strategy. It means you are choosing the bigger picture over the moment. It means you are no longer driven by impulse, but by intention. It means you know exactly who you are. And you do not need to argue to defend that. That is emotional intelligence. That is maturity. That is growth. Some people do not deserve a reaction because their goal was never a solution. Their goal was chaos. And if you give them that reaction, you are feeding the very thing you claim to avoid. Have you ever noticed how someone gets even angrier when you do not feed their drama? When you stay calm, when you do not respond, when you do not rise to their bait, they get louder, more desperate, more obvious. That is because provoking you was their mission. They wanted control. They wanted to pull you into a low vibration where they feel comfortable. When you refuse to give them that, you expose everything they are trying to hide behind their anger. You show their insecurity. You reveal their intentions. Silence reveals what words try to cover up. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. No explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. No defending yourself to people who twist every truth you give them. No arguing with people who only listen to respond, not understand. Words are valuable, and you cannot keep giving them to people who treat them like they are free. There is strength in recognizing that you do not owe anyone access to your mind or your emotions. There is a story from an old friend of mine, someone who used to move with a lot of pride, always ready to react, always ready to prove he was not someone to play with. But there was this one guy in the circle who would go out of his way to embarrass him. Every time they hung out, he tried to make a joke at his expense, try to get the group laughing at him, try to push him into a reaction that would make him look emotional or weak. It was like a game to him. But one day, something shifted. Instead of clapping back, instead of matching energy, instead of arguing, my friend just looked at him calm, unbothered, and smiled. Then he walked away, and you know what happened. The whole room changed. Suddenly, the guy doing the provoking did not seem funny anymore. He did not seem bold or confident. He seemed insecure. He seemed obsessed. He seemed like he needed attention so badly that he kept trying to pull energy out of someone who refused to give it to him. The laughter stopped. The eyes shifted. People started wondering why he was so invested in trying to break someone who clearly did not care. Silence flipped the mirror around, and he did not like the reflection. That is the thing about silence. It exposes people. It shows who is truly in control and who is scrambling for it. It reveals who is grounded and who is shaking. It reveals who is living with purpose and who is living off reactions. Silence strips the mask off. When you do not give people the reaction they are fishing for, they get uncomfortable because now their behavior stands alone. No distraction, no emotional explosion to hide behind. Just them and their intentions. Let silence do its job. There is a level of peace that comes from not engaging. A type of freedom that comes from realizing your attention is a privilege, not something everyone automatically deserves. When you start valuing your energy, you start valuing your silence. You stop giving explanations to people who already made up their minds. You stop trying to correct people who want to misunderstand you. You stop trying to prove yourself to people whose opinions will never change. Peace becomes more important than being right. Growth becomes more important than being loud. Purpose becomes more important than pride. When you stop responding to everything, you start hearing yourself more clearly. You start trusting your intuition. You start recognizing patterns you used to ignore. And you start saving your energy for things that actually matter. Doors open when your spirit is calm. Opportunities find you when you stop reacting to distractions. You move differently when you realize silence can be your armor and your weapon at the same time. And the truth is, the people who matter will not require explanations. They know your heart, they know your character, they know your intentions. The ones who demand a reaction are usually the ones who benefit from your chaos. Do not give them that power, let them talk. Let them assume, let them misunderstand. None of it changes your reality. You are building something bigger than their opinions. Silence is a form of self-respect. It is choosing to protect your peace over proving your point. It is recognizing that not every battle is yours to fight. It is letting go of the need to fix everyone's perception and focusing instead on building your truth. When you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nobody can control you. Not through words, not through rumors, not through provocation. You become untouchable, not because the world stops trying you, but because you stop reacting to every attempt. Let silence expose the ones who move against you. Let silence reveal who is threatened by you. Let silence show the difference between your growth and their noise. You do not win by reacting. You win by rising above. And sometimes rising above simply means saying nothing at all. Your breath is one of the few things in life you carry with you everywhere. Yet most people never learn how to use it. They think calmness is something that just happens. Something you either have or do not have. When the truth is that calmness is a skill, a discipline, a choice you can make in the heat of the moment, and it starts with something simple, something so basic we overlook it every day: breathing. Not the automatic kind your body does for survival, but the intentional kind that keeps you grounded, focused, and in control. When the world tries to shake you, when someone is provoking you, when someone is trying to pull you out of your character, your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart speeds up, your chest tightens, your thoughts scatter, and suddenly you feel like you are being pulled into a moment you did not even choose. That is biology, not personality. Your nervous system is wired to protect you. And when it senses danger, real or imagined, it throws you into fight mode. Back in the day, that response kept people alive. But now, most of the things that trigger that reaction are not life or death situations. They are arguments, disrespectful comments, misunderstandings, or someone trying to get a rise out of you. But your body cannot tell the difference. It reacts the same way every time. The beautiful thing is that you have the power to override that system. You do not have to let your body dictate your choices. You do not have to let adrenaline choose your words. You do not have to let anger decide your next move. You have a built-in tool that can slow everything down. A tool that can bring your mind back into the driver's seat. Your breath. When you inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale slowly for 6, you are not just doing a random breathing exercise. You are sending a message to your nervous system saying, "We are safe, calm down." That long exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for relaxation, clarity, and emotional control. It slows your heartbeat. It eases the tension in your muscles. It quiets the rushing thoughts in your mind. You shift from reacting to responding, from chaos to clarity, from impulse to intention. It is wild how something so simple can change the whole direction of a moment. But it does. A calm breath can stop you from sending a text you will regret. It can stop you from raising your voice in a way that hurts someone you love. It can stop you from stepping into an argument that was never worth your time. It can prevent a 5-second outburst from turning into a problem that takes 5 months to repair. Breathing is not weakness, it is mastery. It is what separates people who get controlled by emotions from people who control their emotions. I remember watching someone close to me lose everything important in his life because he could not slow himself down. Someone said something slick to him in public, and instead of taking a second to breathe, he let his body react before his mind could catch up. One moment of heat ruined opportunities he had spent years building, and after everything settled, he kept saying, "If I had just taken a second, just 1 second." But anger does not give you that second unless you learn to take it. Breath gives you that second. You do not need fancy techniques. You do not need meditation classes or long routines. You do not need to sit in silence for an hour or chant something you do not relate to. All you need is awareness. When you feel that heat in your chest, when your hands start shaking, when your words start forming too fast in your mind, that is the moment to breathe with intention. That is the moment to slow the whole situation down. You take that breath not for them, but for you. Not to make the situation easy, but to make yourself steady. Not to avoid confrontation, but to handle confrontation with clarity. Breathing gives you space. Space between the emotion and the reaction, and in that space you gain your power back. That is where logic lives. That is where wisdom steps in. That is where the best version of you makes decisions instead of the emotional version of you who just wants to release the heat. Think about how many problems in your life came from reacting too quickly. Think about how many things you said or did when you were angry that you would not have said if you had taken just 10 seconds to breathe. 10 seconds, that is all it takes. 10 seconds to save your peace. 10 seconds to keep your dignity. 10 seconds to make sure you do not let someone else dictate your behavior. And here is the truth. People who try to provoke you expect you to react instantly. They expect you to match their energy. They expect you to snap back. They expect you to lose control because that is how they live. So when you stop, when you breathe, when you stay centered, you throw off their whole plan. You take back control. You protect your power. You show that your emotions belong to you and nobody else. Breathing is your anchor when everything around you feels shaky. It is your reset button when someone is trying to push you into places you have already grown out of. It is the pause that saves you from turning temporary feelings into permanent consequences, and the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you start responding differently, not just because you are calm, but because calmness becomes your identity. Life will always give you moments that test you. People will always say things that sting. Situations will always come up that try to pull you off center. But as long as you carry your breath, you carry your power. And you always do. You carry it everywhere you go. You carry it in every moment you face. Use it. Use it when you are angry. Use it when you are hurt. Use it when you are overwhelmed. Use it when someone is trying to provoke you. It does not make you soft. It makes you unstoppable. When you really sit with yourself and think about the life you are trying to build, you start to realize how much of that journey depends on remembering who you are at your core. Not the version people project onto you, not the version shaped by old mistakes or old environments, but the version that is growing silently behind the scenes, the one waking up every day with intention, with ambition, with discipline. When you stay connected to that version of you, you stop letting every distraction pull you off your path. Because when you know your purpose, you move differently, you speak differently, you respond differently, and you protect your future like it is something sacred. People who try to provoke you, they never come with anything meaningful. They just come loud, they come messy, they come from a place of insecurity and confusion. Their mission is simple: pull you out of character so they can feel bigger in the moment. Have you ever noticed how the people who want to drag you into chaos are never the ones building anything, never the ones locked in, focused, or elevating? It is not coincidence. People who are climbing do not have time to provoke others. Only people stuck at the bottom do that because they are looking for company. But you are not here to give them company. You are here to give yourself a chance, and when you truly understand what you are building, it changes everything. You start weighing your reactions like they cost something, because they do. Every time you lose your cool, you pay for it with your peace. Every time you get pulled into someone's drama, you pay for it with your focus. Every time you let somebody dictate your emotions, you pay for it with your momentum. And momentum is one of the most valuable things you can have on your journey. It takes so much effort to build it, and only one reaction to lose it. That is why staying calm is a form of power. It is not about letting things slide. It is about understanding that not every battle deserves your energy. It is about realizing that your reaction can either build your future or break it. It is about choosing long-term strength over short-term satisfaction. Anyone can react. Anybody can snap back, clap back, fire off emotions with no filter. But it takes real discipline to stay grounded when someone is pushing your buttons on purpose. It takes self-respect to walk away when your ego desperately wants to win the moment. That is maturity, that is growth, it is evolution, and you know you are evolving when the old you would have reacted, but the new you does not even feel the urge. That is when you know you are stepping into a higher version of yourself, a version that understands that silence screams louder than anger, a version that understands that walking away is not weakness, is wisdom, a version that understands that peace is a strategy, not a personality trait. The truth is, your mission requires you to think bigger than the moment. You have dreams that depend on you staying steady. You have people you have not even met yet, whose lives will be changed by what you build. You have a future that is waiting on you to step fully into your power. You cannot risk all of that for somebody who is trying to pull you down just because they are uncomfortable seeing you rise. You cannot let temporary emotions sabotage permanent blessings. Every time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself one simple question. Does this move me closer to the life I am building or farther from it? Most of the time, you will realize reacting only serves them, not you. The moment you answer that question honestly, the decision becomes easy. You will start seeing that some people are not testing your patience. They are testing your commitment to your future. They are testing whether you have really changed or if you are still controlled by the same impulses that used to hold you back. And that is why remembering who you are is everything. You are someone with a vision. You are someone with purpose. You are someone who is breaking patterns and breaking limits. You are someone who is rewriting your entire story with every choice you make. You are not who you used to be. You are not who they think you are. You are not the person they want to bait into old behaviors. You are someone building something real. You are someone who understands that reacting to small things makes your world small. Your mission is not just about success. It is about becoming someone you can be proud of. It is about building a character that can handle blessings without folding under pressure. It is about sharpening your mind so distractions lose their power. It is about strengthening your spirit so negativity cannot penetrate it. It is about standing so tall in your identity that nobody can shake you out of alignment. And when you stay focused on what you're building, everything else becomes noise. The comments, the attitudes, the disrespect, the subtle shade, all noise. You do not play in noise. You do not respond to noise. You do not chase noise. You rise above it. You redirect your energy to your goals. You remind yourself that pressure is temporary, but legacy is forever. Your purpose is too big to be jeopardized by people who are not even part of your future. Your vision is too important to be dimmed by someone who is not even walking in the same direction. Your peace is too valuable to be handed over to someone who does not know how to manage their own. So hold your composure, hold your focus, hold your integrity, hold your standard. Because every time you stay calm when someone tries to pull you off center, you are proving to yourself that you are walking in purpose. You are proving that you are becoming stronger than your emotions. You are proving that you are building something worth protecting, and you are proving that nothing and nobody can shake a person who knows exactly who they are and exactly where they are going. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember these 5 things. They want your reaction. Your energy is currency. Not everything needs a response. Your breath is your power. Your future is worth more than this moment. Staying calm is not weakness. This is mastery, and the moment you master your emotions, you master your life.